Put that out this morning. I've got Chrissy Werma, Christy Sletta, and Brian Hulstensgaard, or Hulsty, we'll call him. Welcome to Hodgepodge. Good morning. And let's talk a little bit about some of these things. First of all, what is Midwest Paranormal Files? Who wants to step up to the mic and give us the rundown of your mission? Chrissy.
Well, about a year ago, my husband and I decided to form a paranormal group in the local area. And basically, all we do is go to haunted locations, and we've gone to private residences and try to help people out, whether we debunk claims or we catch paranormal happenings.
Okay. Now, is this something that now, how many people are involved with the Paranormal Files?
7.
Yeah.
7. Okay, from the Detroit Lakes area.
Yep.
Okay. All right, and I understand there are other groups out there that do this type of investigation as well in the area too, around the state, around the country, obviously.
All over the place. Yep, that's correct.
All right, and so how did you get started in this?
Well, the interest began when we were watching some of the more famous shows on TV as ghost hunters, and the interest just kind of grew from there. My husband, working in the media, decided to form a group, and we just kind of started from there, and he got interested, started writing stories about it, and we decided to form a group, and now it's been a year now, and kind of taken off from there.
All right. Do you ever get together with these other groups and kind of share stories and get some maybe leads or things like that?
There was a group my husband did a story on from the Fargo-Moorhead area, and we went on a couple investigations with them, and then we started up our own group from that point then.
All right, and of course, do you get people calling you? I mean, now that you're, you've got information out there, you've got a website on the internet?
Yep, we got a website, paranormalfiles.org, and we're also on Facebook through Midwest Paranormal Files, and we have links on those sites that people can contact us through.
All right, and in just a little bit, we're going to hear some sounds that you brought with you on some of your visits to these sites.
Yes.
Okay, that'll be interesting. And if anybody has a question, give us a call, 847-5421. The studio line is open. You can ask Chrissy or Christy or Brian about their experiences, or maybe you have a place that you'd like to be investigated. So if somebody has a haunt that they'd like to investigate, how do you go about that? How do they contact you, and what's all entailed in that?
Well, like I said, they can go to our website, paranormalfiles.org, and we do have a link on there that says contact us, and through there then they can give us their name, number, or a way of contacting them, and a little bit of information about what's happening.
Okay. So, when I was talking to Brian to schedule you guys, to book you guys on Hodgepodge, he was talking about, we aren't Ghostbusters. You don't go out and catch ghosts, and we're not that kind of group. But what you do is you have equipment, and a lot of it is based on fact, some information, based on stories written. I know I was talking to Amy Diggerstrom on Friday, said that you folks come into the museum quite often, doing some research on things, and you capture sounds and sights with equipment, and you've got a lot of equipment that you use.
Yep, we try to do it as scientifically based, so that it's not just going out there and being a bunch of teenagers doing it for a thrill. We actually go out there and try to either debunk, or if we can't debunk the information that we have, then that's when we start questioning, is it paranormal?
So obviously you are all professionals, 20s, 30s, older.
Yep. Yep, right about 20s, 30s. We even have a junior investigator. He's 9.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm in the studio this morning with the Midwest Paranormal Files, and we're talking about some of the experiences they've had as this organization. You said you've been around for about a year.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Yep. All right. And some of their findings that they have gone out to various locations in the area and also around the Midwest. You went down to Iowa and stayed overnight at a haunted.
Yep.
Okay, and we'll hear more about that. And if you have any questions for these three, Christy, or Holsty, we are willing to accept phone calls, 847-5421. If you want to ask any questions, give us a call. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and listen to some of the sounds, some of the findings, also talk more about the equipment they use and that sort of thing next on Hodgepodge.
It's in the background.
Okay.
Oh.
All right, Andy. I'd like to hear you howl again. All right.
How was that?
That's perfect, Andy. Welcome back to Hodgepodge this morning. I'm in the studio with the Midwest Paranormal Files. We've got Christy, and Brian Holsty in the studio with me this morning, talking about their group as they go out and research some haunts in the area and around the Midwest. And we do have sounds. They brought some files that they've captured in some of their investigations, and we're going to listen to a few of those. Tell us a little story, a little background on these. And Holsty, you're up first.
Okay, what we're playing for you are called EVPs. EVP stands for Electronic Voice Phenomenon. The way we capture these is we take our digital voice recorders into our room with us. And with these, you don't hear them right away when we're doing the investigation, but later when we get home and start going over our evidence, you hear these weird voices, weird sounds over the recorder. And that is what we brought with us today. We're going to start off with one that we got from the old Pine Point School in Pine Point, Minnesota. And in this clip, we're listening to a voice that's kind of like a sigh. What we did, we placed our recorder in the empty circle area and let it sit there for a few hours. And like you suspect, we had a lot of time of nothing, but then all of a sudden we heard that come over the waves, and pretty exciting.
We've got it in the background here. Yeah, so that's a definite sigh or something heavy breather. That's interesting. So how long did you actually have to spend at that to capture this?
I think the recorder was there in the circle area probably 3, maybe 4 hours, I think, during that period.
Okay.
We take the recorders with us. We always have at least one recorder on when we're doing an investigation in any of the rooms that we go to. And sometimes we like to let them sit there. We go into the room, do a little bit of investigating, and leave a recorder there, and hopefully that we might have stirred something up or maybe convinced them to speak to us or try to communicate with us, and this time it worked out.
Okay. All right. Interesting. I'm in the studio this morning on Hodgepodge with Midwest Paranormal Files, talking about some of the investigations they've done throughout the last year. They're a newly organized group, been around about a year here in our area, although there are many groups around the area. We had Chad Lewis speak. He wrote a book. He was here, I believe it was last year, talking about his endeavors, too. So some very similar experiences. Now, we have some more sound. Let's talk a little bit about what do you want to hear next?
Okay, we're going to play the next clip. It's called Hey Clean. This one was taken in the Palmer House from Sauk Center, Minnesota. This was down in the basement. We had a group of investigators down in the basement doing a little investigation, an EVP session, and we heard this voice.
Okay.
Someone just touched me. Slurp your word and some
Okay, as you noticed, you heard a voice, the person say, "It touched me," but you hear the voice before, the EVP voice before he says that.
We've got another little clip still coming up on this, I think.
Yep, it's the same clip, just a little bit cleaned up without some background noise.
Okay, so how do you clean these up then? You obviously working with audio myself. I know how that happens, but how do you go about doing that? You just go through.
We use a program called Nero 10.
Okay.
And we upload it onto our computer. We don't add anything. If we take anything out, it's background noise. Mm-hmm. And when we do our audio, we just clip it. We take the part that we want, and if we do anything, we do a noise reduction and a couple other audio filters on that, and that is the only thing that we do to touch it up.
Okay. Now, do you actually see anything at the time of this recording when you hear this? I mean, have you been in a
Yes, actually, we did have at Pine Point. Actually, we can show the clip called "Scream."
Okay.
And we caught this on our handheld video camera. And at the time of our scream, we saw a bright flash of light.
Okay, here we go. Okay, that was blood-curdling.
Yes, that one was, like I said, we left our camera there, sit in the circle room for all night, actually. So we did that one probably about 10 hours. And that's the only thing we caught on that video. But when we caught it, it was amazing.
Huh. Wow, that's interesting. That's very cool. I'm in the studio this morning with the Midwest Paranormal Files. We've got Chrissy, and Holsty, and talking about their experiences as they investigate some hauntings in the area and around the Midwest. And we're listening to some of the audio they've captured along with video. Of course, being radio, we cannot show you the video, but some very interesting findings here in the area. All right. And what else do we have here?
We'll play you another clip from the Palmer House called Real Reef. Brian Weirma was there on a previous investigation. He took a picture and got a cool anomaly looking at the reef. So then when we made our, Christy and I were there doing an EVP session, and she had a camera going, and I asked her to take a picture of the reef, and she said she already did, but in between me acting and her responding, you hear a reply.
Okay, here we go.
Take a picture of that reef. He's got a picture of
Okay, so you have that cleaned up here down the...
Yes.
Okay, here we go. This one. So we hear that little scream in there. Is that what it was?
Yeah. I believe my interpretation is that a spirit said, why? As in, why take a picture of the reef? That's my assumption. I can't tell you 100% if that's the way it really is. Mm-hmm. But EVPs are pretty much open to interpretation. I can tell you what I think it is, but I'm also willing to hear anybody else's opinion on that.
Okay. All right. So now, you've obviously shared your audio with other people
yes.
in the...
After we do an investigation,
okay.
We copy all of our evidence onto a disc, and we give that to the person that requested the investigation, the landowner, mm-hmm. whoever asked us to be out there.
Okay, and other investigators as well. I mean, yes. You kind of compare with what they found with what you found?
Yes, all of these clips are also on our website, www.paranormalfiles.org. Mm-hmm. And most other paranormal groups also have a website, their own website that you can find their evidence on as well.
All right. I'm in the studio with the Midwest Paranormal Files this morning, Chrissy, and Holsty, and we're talking about some of their investigations they've done over the course of the last year as they have been become an organized group here in the area. And now, all of you obviously have jobs, and how much time commitment do you put into these investigations?
Well, when we have an investigation, like I said, we run static cameras, so we have 12 cameras that record the whole time we're there, and it depends on how long we do an investigation. Typically, it's between 6 hours on the short end, all the way up to 12 to 14 hours. So we have 12 cameras that we have to watch and do that. And like I said, we always have an audio going, at least one audio. Sometimes we have up to 5 or 6 audio devices recording the whole time. And then we also have 3 handheld cameras that we walk around with, and also we take photography with digital cameras. And so we have to go through all that evidence, try to get it done in a timely manner, which usually takes, I don't know, sometimes we could spend 20 hours a week working on it, trying to get it wrapped up, but it's worth it.
Okay. Well, are there certain times of year that there's more activity than others? Obviously, we're talking about this on Halloween, which, you know, people's awareness is more heightened, but are there certain times of the year that you get more activity than others that you've found so far? Or?
We've been pretty steady, actually, for people requesting investigations, actually. Whether or not there's more spirit activity at a certain time of the year, that's something I do not yet know. There's always a myth about Halloween and being the kind of holiday it is. That's something we'd like to find out, actually, by doing more investigations and getting out there and being able to say whether or not we feel there is more activity at certain times of the year.
Mm-hmm. All right. We've got another clip that you'd like to share with us.
Which one? Okay, we'll do, Why Would You Do That to Me?
Okay.
Excuse me. This clip was taken from Villisca, Iowa, at the Axe Murder House. This is, so far, the only clip that I have come across that I actually heard it while it happened. This clip was taken off our video camera, and we only have audio here with us today. But you'll hear me, you'll hear a weird clip, and then you'll hear me say, huh? In reference to Brian Weirma. He was also in the room, and then he makes a comment about messing with his computer, which means he did not hear the clip as it happened.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, I'm going to pick up and fold in the shotgun. What was that?
And then we have some cleaned up audio here of just the clip of the EVP that we got.
Okay.
What was that?
Interesting stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty good. We got some good evidence from that investigation in Villisca. Christy had a door open on her when she was investigating in there. Would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, I don't know if you know what Villisca, Iowa is all about, but there was a horrible axe murder there. Killed 8 people, including 6 children. And it's a very small house. And a friend of mine and I were in the basement investigating and went upstairs to tell them what had happened. We were recording a live feed. We stream live online too, our investigations sometimes. And as we're explaining what happened to us in the basement, the closet door just to the right of me started opening and closing on its own.
Wow.
And that we have a video of on our website.
Okay. Christy Weirma, and Brian Holstensgaard are my guests this morning from Midwest Paranormal Files. We're talking about some of their investigations they've done over the course of the last year as they've started this this group here in the Detroit Lakes area. And they've gathered some interesting audio and video clips. As they've said, they've got them on their website. They've also got the audio clips here with us in the studio this morning. And we do have a few minutes left. If anybody has any questions, 847-5421, you can give us a call. We'll try to get your question answered. But you've also got a few more clips to share with us this morning.
We got another clip for you taken from the Palmer House in Sauk Center. This one is also down in the basement area with the same group of investigators. This clip was taken shortly after the first clip that we played with a voice that says, hey. Right after one of our investigators gets touched, there's a couple minutes of dialogue, and then he gets touched again, and here's the audio that goes with that. I hate to.
Yeah. The right leg. Left. In the back. Now it's like in the back. Same feeling.
Here's a little cleaned up version coming up as well here. So is that quick little...
Get that quick little...
Now it's like in the back.
That we caught on there. We believe the spirit is saying, hey, as in trying to get our attention, and that also coincides with the guy getting touched twice, and we got the voice twice. So, coincidence? Probably not. Paranormal? I'd like to think so.
Okay. All right. Are you finding that this is becoming, I mean, I've heard what we have, the movies out, Paranormal Activity. Is that the movie that's out now?
Yeah.
I think it's the third. Number three. I mean, this is becoming more, I would say, mainstream these days.
Yes, it's quite popular. There's many TV shows dedicated to paranormal now, which is good for us. Keeps, I don't know, just good for us in general. Gets the word out there, and maybe people more open to talk about their ghost stories, and I'm always interested to hear them.
So are you, well, we've got another clip to share too, and then we'll talk a little bit more.
Okay, we're going to play our last clip that we have for you today. This is from Villisca, Iowa as well. This is by far the best clip that we've ever got, our most clear clip, and also the quite funniest clip that we've ever got. What's going on here is we were in Villisca, Iowa, and like Christy said earlier, there was a murder that happened there, and we were trying to convince the murderer to either show himself or tell us his name. What we did is we took, printed off some pictures of some suspects that were in the murder case, and we placed them on the bed, and we interrogated them for probably a good half hour or so. And then in the meantime, we were doing a live feed, mind you, the whole time. And the computer was dying out. The battery was going dead, so we had to go grab the charger. And in the meantime, when we left the room, we caught this audio clip. We have that one cleaned up. We're going to play it twice more cleaned up. While there was two of us doing the investigation in that room, I still like to believe it was calling Brian Weirma the
Now, you said sometimes you get the stuff and you don't hear it until you play it back. Did you actually hear that?
No, this is one of those things that we did not hear going on at the time. If we would have heard it, we would have probably bickered amongst each other. Like, why did you call me moron? No, you called me moron. No, we didn't. None of that happened. We didn't hear it at all until we were going over the audio. And we actually caught this on our video camera and 3 other audio devices. So this is by far the loudest EVP we've ever caught, but yet none of us heard it with our own ears at the time.
Interesting. I'm in the studio this morning with Midwest Paranormal Files. I've got Halsty, Christy Sleda, and Chrissy Weirma, 3 of the members of the Midwest Paranormal Files, who are based out of Detroit Lakes here. They have been on some interesting investigations locally and regionally, and they're sharing those with us this morning, this Halloween morning. Now, you say you talk to these spirits, and you try to get into some kind of conversation or try to stir them a little bit to, make some either motion or audio or something. How do you do that?
Well, it's kind of like sitting in a room by yourself talking to no one most of the time.
Kind of like radio.
But yeah, you kind of hope you're getting a response, and you listen to it later and listen real close, and sometimes you do get a response, other times you get nothing. But.
Have you ever heard much of activity in radio stations? I mean, being in radio, there's always the rumored, ghosts. I mean, I've worked in Red Wing and Hutchinson, and they both had their ghosts, studio ghosts.
We've never done a radio station. We would love the opportunity to get to do a radio station.
Well, I should give you some of the contact information, because they say because of the electromagnetic with the, all the electricity and water kind of conjures up some of those spirits. But interesting. Well, I want to have you folks back as we progress here through the years, and you get more files and more investigations under your belt as well. So I want to thank you so much for coming in today and sharing this with us.
Thanks for having us.
All right, Chrissy Weirma, Christy Sleda, and Brian Halsty in the studio with me this morning from Midwest Paranormal Files, and happy Halloween. And if you have anything you'd like to investigate or have investigated, you can give these folks a call or contact them. They are on the internet, and you can check it out. And thank you so much. And that is going to wrap it up for this October 31st, 2011, 1340 KDLM Hodgepodge.